And to do it, you have to start by making a cream sauce, something the Italians call a besciamella, which means that in this little pot here, I've got 2 tablespoons of butter that I melted and then whisked in some flour, 2 tablespoons of flour, until I had a blonde roux. And then I added 2 cups of milk, and now I'm just going to give that a little bit of nutmeg, just to flavor it a little bit. And you want that besciamella thick enough to coat a spoon. So that's about the thickness that you want. This is going to go into our meatballs, so we want that to cool down. And here is what I have. This is a chuck roast, so you want a cut of meat that you're going to boil. Tuscan meatballs start with some sort of boiled meat. You could use turkey, you could use pork. Today I'm using a chuck roast, and this is a chuck roast that I cooked, cooled, and now I'm going to grind up. So the best thing to do is to put that into a food processor. So this is about 1 pound of chuck roast, boiled, cooled, and cut up. And we want to get that into a really fine mince, very fine. The texture of these meatballs is absolutely very, very fine. And so pulse it up a couple times until it looks fine enough that when you take off the top, you can take it and kind of squeeze it between your hands so it holds together. That's the texture that you want. And then to flavor this, you want to have some mortadella. Mortadella is a cooked pork product that comes from the region of Emilia-Romagna, but you find it everywhere in Italy, and this is what it looks like when you buy it. So I want about 4 slices of that, and that's going to go right into the food processor, and we're going to mince that up as well. So now the mortadella gets added to the chuck roast. And with this, we want to have some porcini mushrooms. And I know exactly what you're saying. Where am I going to find porcini mushrooms? Well, believe me, you can buy them dried. Here they are. This is how you get them when you buy them in the store, dried porcini. Of course, if you had fresh, that would be even better. And when you get them home, you need to soak them. So here I just put about 1/4 cup of porcini mushrooms in a little bit of water. A sieve takes them out, and you can see how they have softened up. So they go right into the food processor with some flat leaf parsley. You want to use flat leaf parsley for this. That's Italian parsley, not curly parsley, which is great if you want to decorate a plate, but it doesn't have too much flavor. And you mince all of this up. And now we add that to our ground chuck and our mortadella. And then with that, we want to have some cheese. And here you can use Parmigiano Reggiano, which is a cheese that comes from Emilia-Romagna, a cow's milk cheese. You want about 1/4 cup. Or you could use a pecorino cheese, which is a sheep's milk cheese. And then a little bit of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon, not much, because we have salt in the cheese. So mix this up well. And now we're going to add 2 eggs to that. So you want to whiz up 2 eggs and add this right to the meat mixture. And that's going to help bind the meat. And now we want to mix this up, and we have to add the besciamella to this. So get the eggs in, and if your eggs are small, you may want to add an extra egg or so. Now the besciamella, and for this we want, about 1/2 cup, and I'm just going to eyeball that for you. I put a little bit of nutmeg in to flavor this. So 1/2 cup of besciamella. You see, I'm not using any breadcrumbs with this recipe. And we get this all mixed up, and now we're going to begin to form meatballs, or polpette as they are known in Italian. So here I have some extra virgin olive oil heating up in a skillet. And to do it, you want to take small amounts and kind of make this an oval shape. You want the meatball to hold together. Something like that. And you can actually make them smaller than this. And you see how nicely that holds together? Beautiful consistency. And these are very light tasting when you eat them. All right, so there are our meatballs. And now you dredge them in flour. You really want to coat them nicely. Get all that excess flour off, because you don't want too much of a floury taste. Okay, now we can get them into the oil. And here is my hot oil. And they're not going to take very long. Oh, maybe about 2 minutes. And you want to watch them because you need to, of course, turn them as they're browning. Now, while they're cooking, and let me just give them a quick turn here. So I want them to really brown nicely, and they're looking good. I want to get a little salad ready for you. All cleaned, ready to go. A little bit of radicchio, some endive, some arugula, all cleaned. And now we want to give that a little bit of salt and some extra virgin olive oil. I just eyeball this when I'm making salad. Give that a good toss. And then just add some good red wine vinegar to this. So a little bit of red wine vinegar. Before I toss that, let me go back here and see what we're doing. Well, these are looking perfect. Look at that. Look at how beautiful they look. And I can take them out, and they've stayed together beautifully. And when you take them out, you want to drain them onto brown paper. So have some brown paper ready and let them drain. And you want to eat these at room temperature. And you make a nice bed of those greens right on the platter. And then you simply arrange these beautiful meatballs right over the top.